All right. Well, with the new year right around the corner, a lot of us are already thinking about resolutions, things like getting organized, saving more, maybe even setting up a budget. But here's one resolution we don't always think about. It's estate planning. Here now to share more on the importance of estate planning is Justin Isaac, an estate planning attorney from the Lawyer in Blue Jeans Group. Justin, good to see you as always.
Good to see you. Thank you.
When we talk about estate planning, are we talking about a living trust, for example?
Yeah, a lot of people think that the default position really is that the government is in control. So when you're born, the government is in control of your estate. When you pass away, if you've taken control back by having a trust, then you have control. But if you don't, if you just have a will, you still go through the probate court. And the probate court here in California is pretty bad, especially San Diego. We only have 3 probate judges in all of San Diego County for 3.6 million people. So that means that our state, or people's estates, usually get stuck in the courts for years at a time. The longest probate that I saw was 21 years. That's not normal, but 2 years, that's kind of the average.
It just seems to me like, okay, at face value, you have a will. This is what I have, and this is who I'm leaving it to. End of story.
Yeah.
But that's not the way the government sees it.
Well, not really, because it still has to go through probate. So even if you have a will, you go through the probate court, and that whole process is very cumbersome and bureaucratic and a lot of red tape. And someone asked me once, what's the probate process like? And I said, well, it's like going to the DMV for 2 years straight. So if you like going to the DMV, you're going to love probate. And we do talk about this a lot. We do a lot of these educational seminars about estate planning, and we get a lot of requests during the holiday season for, oh, I want to get my kids a trust, you know, and that's, some people might think that's not the best gift to give, but it actually is the best gift when you're thinking about, you know, protecting your grandkids or protecting your kids from having to go through the court process, because by default, if your kid is over 18, you don't have control over their assets or their health decisions or financial decisions if they become incapacitated. There's so many reasons to have this in place, and the main reason is to avoid that bureaucracy, to avoid the probate court.
And when you say have this in place, are you referring specifically to a living trust?
Specifically to a trust. Now, not everyone needs a trust. If you don't have assets, if you don't have a house, if you don't have minor children, you know, if you have $5 in the bank, you probably don't need a trust at that point. But having those things, having property, especially in San Diego, is such a good reason to have a trust. And like I said, we do these presentations all the time just to talk about this. We really want to get education out there for people. And during the holiday season, so many people are thinking about this. They put it on their New Year's resolution. They want to make sure they get it done. And so there's a lot of things to prepare for too. That's what we talk about. But just having a plan in place like a living trust is such a crucial gift to give back to your kids.
And what is the process of going through and getting a living trust?
Well, usually you'll meet with an attorney, you'll fill out a questionnaire, you go over that, your kind of rough draft with an attorney, make any changes or other decisions. You get options, and that's why it's important to see an attorney. There's a lot of people out there, like paralegals, who try and create a trust, and that's not really the best decision because it's final, right? Like if it doesn't work, you can't go back on that because you're already gone at that point. So you really want to think about what kind of legacy you're leaving for your children. Are you going to put them in the position where they have to go through court, or whether they just have to, you know, rely on the documents that you've created with a professional who knows what they're doing and make sure that your wishes are going to be fulfilled. So that's the important part.
So ultimately, the living trust is what will keep your loved ones out of probate court.
Yeah, and if you remember, like Aretha Franklin and Prince, they didn't have a trust. We know all about their estate and all the fighting and the drama within it because they went through the probate court. And the probate process is public. Sorry for the alliteration there, but everyone knows what goes on your estate. Whereas if you have a trust, nobody knows. It is completely private. There's no government agency looking over your shoulder. It's all about privacy, as opposed to when you're in probate, it's all public.
All right, Justin Isaac, Lawyer in Blue Jeans Group. Appreciate the info. That's valuable. This is good stuff.
Thank you for having me.